Look at him. Just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from hearing harvest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Take a Wide. This is episode 236. Let's jump right into the sponsors. First, I want to make mention of a show happening Saturday, September 8th. I guess that would be this upcoming Saturday. It's a benefit for Wildlife Defense League in loving memory of Cody Andrews. DCHC 519 is holding a benefit show on September 8th to raise funds for the Wildlife Defense League. You can check out their websites, WildlifeDefenceLeague.org. They hold this benefit annually in honor and in loving memory of Cody Andrews. Cody was a local hardcore kid, a show organizer, and an avid member of the KW music scene. If he wasn't planning a show or planning to go to the next show, he was just a kid who was constantly talking about local bands and reviving the scene, and kind of was an inspiration behind the DC hardcore 519 scene. These guys reached out to partner up, and I think it's a really sweet thing that they're doing, so I'm super happy to hop on board and kind of get the word out there. It's happening at Harmony Lunch. That's in Waterloo. It's 90 King Street North in Waterloo. So if you're out and about that way, you guys can check it out and go support something kind of dope. There are, just reading the information here, some acoustic acts, some bands from Kitchener, Southern Ontario, Hamilton. I'll link it in the description so you guys can see the event page. But yeah, if you're in 519 and looking for something to do that day, that'd be a really cool thing to do. So go check that out. So let me jump into Heartbeat Hot Sauce. They are the second sponsor that's on season 6 of Hot Ones, the interview show. I interviewed Al. He's in episode 221. He's kind of behind the whole company, him and his partner Nancy, and it's just a delicious hot sauce. They have 3 or 4 different kinds. They've partnered up with Cancer Bats on their last release. Again, they're on Hot Ones. It's just a delicious, high-quality hot sauce with no chemical preservatives added or water. It's all fermented peppers using traditional methods, and it's just really, really, really great stuff. If you guys go to heartbeathotsauce.com, you can check out where they're selling it. They're all across Canada. If you use promo code TakerWide5, you'll save 5% on your cart. So go on in. It's hard to say. Go on in with some friends and order some hot sauce. Heartbeathotsauce.com. Next up, DFA Tattoos. It's a tattoo shop in Montreal, 328 St. Catherine Est, and it's run by Shawnee and my friends. Shawnee was on last episode, and it's a great spot. It's clean, it's safe. They can cover all types of tattoos. Really friendly place to go, and it might be overwhelming to go get your first tattoo, but trust these guys to take care of you and to make the process easy, and you'll end up with some amazing art. I think that's super important. It's going to be on you forever. So 328 St. Catherine Est in Montreal, DFAtattoos.com. Next, Kevin Rego of Heffner Toyota out in Kitchener. If you guys are interested in buying a new car, maybe it's daunting to trust someone with that money and that decision, I 100% will vouch for Kevin Rego. Rego's an old friend. I've known him since I moved to Cambridge, and solid guy, trustworthy, reliable, just one of those guys that you can always count on. Super solid, man. And I know when I moved, and I've talked about this before, but just didn't really have like a family, I guess. Those guys opened up to me and kind of let me in. So yeah, just super rad to be working with him, working together to try to get you guys out to him. So if you're out that way, 3121 King Street East in Kitchener, mention the show and you'll get special pricing on new vehicles. So we're getting older and we're becoming adults, so step up your adult life and get a new car. Next, we got Ironclad Graphics. They're a screen printing company in Kingston who specialize in apparel printing. They do everything, man. Shirts, patches, stickers, posters, LP inserts, pretty much anything. Just hit them up. They have a wide range of products and high quality stuff. The Taker Wide shirts were done through them. They do toques, everything, man. Just go to ironcladgraphics.com. It's competitive pricing. They ship coast to coast. So if anything, just check it out. Just throw them in the hat for people you might be looking to do your merch. I've been working with them for years, and they're a great company. So super happy to have them on board. Next, we have Dapper Beard Oil. It isn't a beard oil company selling to people. They're a people company, which happen to make a really good beard oil. It's 100% natural ingredients. It's ethically sourced. It's just, I think, everything you might want. It's a small business. You can support small business by ordering some beard oil. Go to dapperbeardoil.com. Check out the selection there. Use promo code TAKERWIDE free ship, and you'll get free shipping. So save some money. Support a homie and try some good stuff out. Wellington Brewery provide the beers. They're Canada's oldest independently owned microbrewery. They have award-winning beers in small batches, and they use the freshest all-natural ingredients. I am sipping on a Piñata. It is a ginger peach kettle sour. It's delicious, and it's really cool that they are on board with this show. So if you're out and about, buy them, buy a beer, buy a Wellington. Dave Levitt Photography has been since day one. Dave's a photographer here in Cambridge. He does music videos, websites, and promos, and tech stuff. He's a really solid guy. I love Dave to death, and he was there from the beginning, even before that, right when I moved to Cambridge, just taking promos for Tugnut and stuff. And best guy, DaveLevittPhotography.ca. And lastly, we have the Have Hope Fest, which is happening on the 22nd. It's over 20 of Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and Southern Ontario's best and upcoming bands and acoustic artists. There's an after party with 5 of the region's best DJs and producers. It all takes place across 3 stages at Maxwell's in Waterloo, and there's a punk rock thrift shop that I'll be a part of, set up there, talking to people, and very cool. They have VIP packages you guys can get up on, and I think it's in the description. You can find them, Hope Fest 2018. Brought to you by Have Hope. So here we go. So this episode, it's me and Marc. Marc is my partner in crime, I guess. I've known Marc forever. He played with me in Tugnut. He's played with Fuck the Facts. I kind of go over all his credentials. And just my goddamn best friend. We do some real talk. Becomes no tears were shed or anything like that. But this is me and Marc driving back from Windsor, shooting the shit, talking. Hopefully you guys can dig it, and that's it. Let me just stop talking, and here's the episode. Welcome back to Take Her Wide. This is a special vehicle edition. I wonder if this is illegal, if a cop drives by and they see a microphone in my face as I drive. But I'm here with Marc Bourgon. Marc plays with Greber. He's done time with Fuck the Facts, played with Pick Your Side, does Cancelled. He did some Robert Zemeckis stuff. He's got some upcoming new stuff. Who else am I forgetting, Bergs?
I think you got it. I think that's it.
I feel like there was one more. Oh, he used to play in Drudgery. Anyone remembers that?
I used to play in a band called Tugnut.
That's right.
You ever heard of them?
There's a popo right there.
Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna hide our mics because we're coming up with the cops.
I think it's more like 10.
3, 2, 2.5.
Am I supposed to pull over?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to get over.
Get out of the way.
This is gonna blow this guy's mind if he sees it.
2 guys.
Are they allowed to do that? Okay, 3.
Done.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, do you want to talk? Can we talk about what we just came from, or are we going to keep that on the down low? I guess people who saw the Instagram post know. We were recording some new tracks.
Yeah, I guess for a yet to be named release. That works, eh?
Yep. Yeah, we did it with Nick in Windsor. Nick plays with Miners, and who did he say he played with at Obscene?
I forget. Corrupted something.
Something.
Not Corrupted.
Corrupted something.
Not the band Corrupted.
And yeah, it was great. Just banged out some stuff and really fucking tired, but I think I've talked about this before where we're both proficient enough at what we're doing that it wasn't a big deal. We went in, banged them out, now we're driving home. Took no time at all.
I attribute all of it to us practicing these two songs a million fucking times through less than ideal conditions,
Yeah.
And then it was easy.
It was we were jamming in the hall just full blast, and then we were doing it live off the floor, but we weren't going to capture it that same way. So it's like, well, let's record this with kind of more of isolation, where basically I was just jamming along to you were kind of DI into a computer, and I was just kind of hearing your signal. Like, it was, if you were standing in the hall, you would just hear the drums. So we were practicing that way, and it fucking helped so much. I'm so glad we did that, because had we not have done that, fuck, man. I'm really bad for, like I was telling you, like, the takes will start to escape me. I'll start thinking about them and fucking up parts that I don't need to be fucking up on.
Yeah, you killed it, man.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Sorry, hold up. Timmy said. Yeah, so it'll come out at some point later, and it's I'm excited for you guys to hear it. Now we're just driving home. Yeah, van podcast. What do you want to talk about, Brooks?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Maybe pull up that list. Let's see if there's any interesting things to talk about. Just I was honestly going to do this with BPs in Toronto, but there was crazy traffic, and it just didn't pan out. So I had some questions ready just to kind of gloss over in case we needed to. And
all right.
Anything stand out on that list? That one thing I think, I don't know if it's the first question or not, was thinking about how if you put a label on your release, if that is a benefit at all, because it's like Sledgehammer, it's not a real label, you know, or Elliott Street Records when Tugnut did stuff wasn't a real label. And if on the other end people see that, would be like, oh, cool, a label, and not look into it any further, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I
guess it depends on who's receiving that information.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's it, yeah. It would be a like, oh, cool, these guys are on a label. And I don't think many more people would look further into the label.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember being young and being like, wow, this band's on a label, but I'm admittedly less impressed by that. Be like, well, unless it's like a label I know, and then I'm kind of like, well, even still, is the band good? Because there's a lot of like really good labels that sign a lot of like bands that I'm not super into. What's like a label that, like, you know, is like for the most part, that's the thing. There's like, it's like hit or miss. They're so diverse, and like it used to be Relapse. It'd be like, man, anything out on Relapse is probably killer, but nowadays it's like there's still a lot of good shit, but I'm like, there's a lot that I'm like just not my cup of tea, you know.
Well, I think a big thing nowadays is the cassette label. So you have a label, and you might hear about this label, but then you come to find like it's not that it kind of diminishes it a bit if it's just a cassette label, because I feel like you can release a lot of stuff, afford to release a lot of stuff, and like quickly become like a label. I was talking to Nate about this, Nate from Cambridge, and he was saying like, yeah, you know, it's not crazy expensive to run tapes, but I want the band to be good. I want the band to be touring. I'm not just gonna release tapes for the sake of building my roster. So yeah, I wonder if there is any benefit in putting a fake label on your shit at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Not that I can think of.
I'm trying to think of other labels like nowadays. Well, I think like Southern Lord still kind of has that sort of Relapse-ish thing where people might trust the label that they're putting out good shit. You know, I'm surprised. So I thought Hydra Head was done, but they just released the Erosion. Oh. Yeah, what was your knowledge of Hydra Head? Did you think they were done, or did you know they were still doing stuff?
I didn't really know here nor there. I didn't know if it was still around, or... Yeah, I thought I recalled them not being a label anymore, but it's pretty much that Aaron Turner guy from Sumac's thing, so... Yeah. Maybe it's just the same case of he's like, okay, it's out on Hydra Head.
Yeah, that's what I kind of... Maybe they are done, but he'll just release something for his friend.
Yeah, and maybe they'll like... It's more like, I guess, a self-releasing sort of deal. Like maybe they'll do the next Old Man Gloom or some shit like that.
You know what we can talk about is just so when BP's played in Toronto, Tombs played that night too, and apparently the Tombs show was very poorly attended, and we were talking about like a band like that, like I think they're on Relapse, maybe, but just hit a cap, like older guys, and a cap as far as like they're gonna be as big as they're gonna get. They're not gonna have a crazy pull in Toronto, because that was totally the case. Now, and I don't know if that was a shitty promoter, you know. I don't know who threw the show, like, or just Tombs just doesn't pull in Toronto. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
For them to, like, what it was for them, like, I'm sure it sucked, but if it was just, I wonder. I don't know, because to me, Tombs is like a bigger band, but then the reality is, it like no, maybe in certain markets, but not like across the board.
Yeah, I wonder why. Could have been a number of reasons, I guess.
Could have been. It's because of the BP show, man.
Yeah. we stole the crowd. Metal's dead, man. Punk's dead.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What else I got here? What was number one? Honesty. Oh, wait, turn our mics down. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Fuck you. Okay, we back. When it comes to how good your band is, how many people are actually telling the truth about your band? What do you mean, like other people, or people are telling the truth about their own band?
Both. Other people, and like how can you gauge how good your band is? Like because we know bands that are not good bands, but how are they ever going to improve unless they're actually like looking internally, like we need to improve, or if their friends are going to be like, you guys aren't that great of a band.
Yeah, I don't know how. It's.
I don't like, even in our lives, I only within have, you know, at least you and Kipes have been like, you know, you need to tighten up a bit, but no one's ever really critiqued my bands.
Yeah, and that's a sort of self-deprecating criticism that we all love in our 30s. Tell me how shitty I am. I don't want to hear how good the things we're doing are. I won't believe any of it anyway. So just point out the raw spots and let me pick at them for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, it's wanting to grow and knowing that you're not the best, that keeps pushing a lot of people. And I just feel like I see bands and there's an aura of confidence when it shouldn't be there. It's like, you guys aren't even a good band. And I don't know if you'll ever improve, because I feel like you think you're a really good band. But I'm not going to say anything, because at the same time, it's
I guess, too, it's a matter of taste, right? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of bands that you and I would think are not good, but the majority of people would say, like, yeah, that's a wicked band, and I appreciate what they do. But
I wonder, though, like, do you mean not a good band just in what they're writing, or, like, as musicians and as a unit, not a good band?
Both, you know. You know, like, some bands could have really good music that's, like, poorly executed, or some people could have really poorly executed, well executed, boring ass music. But I'm sure there's a cross section of people who would agree on all the different sort of like aspects of that, or disagree. Like, some people might like the technical proficiency, some people might like the lack of it, the good songs, the bad songs, the, like, I don't know. It's hard to quantify, I suppose, like what a good band is. I just know what the bands that's the thing, like, I don't know, I don't even say a band is good or not good. I do, but I'm not being, you know,
by these sort of.
Yeah, it's just I don't like the band. We used to have we used to always say in Fuck the Facts, good at their thing, good at what they do, but not my thing. Which is true. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna, whatever you're doing in music, if you really want to think honestly about it, is completely fucking pointless. On the grand scale, yeah, you're not curing cancer. Maybe that's something people should be more honest about. Take their fucking bands a whole hell of a lot seriously. It's meaningful and it's a good feeling to, you know, to have a good outlet for whatever you have that needs outletting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think if anything, that's where a lot of people aren't really telling the truth or having an honest perspective on their music.
What do you what if you did have some things that are sort of checklist for you for a good band? What are they?
I like them.
So it's just like more of a, like I'm just thinking of that to myself, to ask myself that question, like what makes a good band? It's like, I guess,
I feel like that's the magic of it. Sometimes it's like no idea no idea why. And that's the thing, if there was like a solid checklist, like you need A, B, C, and possibly D, and then your band is good, then everyone would just do that. But there's always that like things that happen in between the lines of A and B to C that are just magic, and you're like, I don't know why this band was really fucking not tight, but just killed it. I love this band, no idea why.
Man, you know what's interesting is Chance the Rapper, when I first listened to him, I didn't like it. It was like, I think I was listening to this album called Acid Rap, and because I heard about it, tried it, I'm like, this is terrible. But on tour at BP's after like a late night, all night type of thing, it just caught me at the right time, and now I'm a fan of Chance the Rapper. So for even myself, it was cool to be like, I don't like this artist, and then just at the right time, I was like, it just boom, hit me like I needed this right now, because it's kind of like it was like positive hip hop. That at the time, I guess I just wasn't needing any positivity, but at that time on that BP tour, I needed some, and it was perfect.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you know, and I feel like a good example of that is Converge. Like, you know, when you and I think of Converge, we're like the Converge records that we like. We're like, okay, like Jane Doe, You Fail Me, shit like that, because that's when that was our Converge of our time, you know. But you know, you might talk to someone a bit younger, and they're like, All We Love We Leave Behind is the best, you know, because that was their entry point. So it's kind of, yeah, it's exactly like Chance the Rapper for you. It's just at that time this resonated with you, and you could hear that exact same record 5 years earlier, and it has no effect at all.
Yeah. Fuck, man. You ever have any other bands like that at first you didn't like them, and then over time, same sort of thing?
Yeah, like tons and tons. You're just like,
what brings you back to listen to it after you're like, I don't really like this?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because that's actually an interesting thought, to be like, I don't like this band, so why would you go back and revisit it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no idea. I think Steely Dan was a band like that for me, because I'd heard them and I was like, oh, fuck this shit. Like, what the fuck? These guys got their guitars way high, and they're like playing all these fucking chords that have like letters and numbers after them. Like, who the fuck needs it? I just want to play Dookie and Offspring Smash my whole life. But, you know, just reading on their process, that kind of intrigued me some more, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll give it another listen. And, you know, that little bit of investment kind of paid off.
Yeah, you guess you're a little more invested, like a little bit more of you, like to say you might have read up on their process. So yeah, you're a little more involved when you're listening.
Yeah, I was in like a different place when I listened the second time. The first time I was like, I could fucking care less about process and studio and all these like weird things, but, you know, got older and I was like, it interests me now. And maybe I'll hate Steely Dan in 10 years.
When you were a kid and getting into bands, did you become obsessed with any bands where you would like read interviews and know their backstory? Because I never really did. There's no band that I can think of that I dug deep into how they form, like maybe Korn or something. Actually, probably Korn is the only band, but you ever do that? Like kind of become obsessed with the band and learn more and more of the like whole big picture of the band.
Yeah, I did that with Propaganda. I was like obsessed. To some degree, I still am. Like, just because I found them to be as individuals like super interesting and articulate people, you know. So it was always, as a kid, I was like, man, it seemed so smart to talk about, you know, really serious global issues. And now, you know, admittedly, like, you know, that's still something that concerns me, but I don't know, just to hear them, it's like they just seemed really honest. Maybe that's what kind of struck a chord with me. Yeah, they were like really serious, but then within the next sentence, it's something goofy. They're like ripping on each other about having, you know, giving each other wedgies or having like bad gas or something dumb. So it was like, well, these guys seem genuine.
Yeah, you know, and when you showed me Propaganda, I found it odd that it's like heavy themes, but then there's like just the one line like stop, pick up, aisle, like it's like a...
Oh yeah, stock checkup stock personnel, check up, stock personnel. Fuck.
Yeah.
It
was yeah, I don't know. It's like they're talking about heavy stuff, but for me, when I was introduced to that band, that made it more like, oh, these are just dudes.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like this is above me. Like I'm not smart enough to listen to this. It's like, oh, it made it more relatable. A simple thing like that, a simple bit of humor.
Yeah. It's like that old. I don't know if it's a quote or a saying, but I forget. I read it somewhere that like sometimes the best way to tell a tragedy is to use comedy, and sometimes the best way to tell a comedy is to use tragedy. You know?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because like, you know, you could extrapolate a lot of like really sad shit out of, you know, humor. It can really like, what's that guy's name? Bill Hicks.
Oh, Bill. You know, I've never listened to Hicks.
He's the same. He's like funny, but at the same time, it's like fuck. He's just like painting with such vivid colors the disgusting fucking stain on the world that is the human race. It's I don't know, but it's funny but sad at the same time. George Carlin was kind of the same way.
I'm trying to think of someone else like that, like a dark comedian. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know. So you never really dug into any.
No, maybe. Like I did it a little bit with bands when I was a kid, but not. Like Shawnee always comes to mind, man. Shawnee knows so much about so many bands and the history behind them and producers and stories and like he's like, you know, I feel like I have like my, I don't know the belts in Taekwondo, but I'm like a lower level belt. I love music. It moves me. It drives me, but I don't do much more work aside from just the initial intake. And I feel like a guy like Sean invests a lot of time in just becoming more involved with the band, where he knows the stories and he knows what the song's about and he knows like all those little extra things that probably when he's listening to the record changes how he's hearing it, because he knows like, oh fuck, like they had to hire this guy last second, or this thing happened at this time of this recording, so it changes the experience, because there's like, it's like a broader picture of the whole thing.
Yeah, it's kind of rewarding sometimes to dig deep, you know.
Yeah, well, it's like I think of it. I think was I thinking about. Whose album was it? Someone was shitting on their album. Oh, Kendrick. I saw like a bad review for Damn, and it's like fuck. Like, Damn, I can understand that it was his best vision of like, here's my ideas, and I've talked about this before. Ideas in my head, and I'm presenting it out to the world, and it's my best version of it. And then to have someone like shit on it, it's like that was their best attempt, I'd like to think, at what they thought and brought it forward. So I had a point to this. Fucking Christ, I already forgot it. What were we talking about before this?
Like stories, like the backstory
of an album and being invested in it.
Fuck that shit.
Oh, that shit. Fuck. Oh, god damn it. Now I sound like an idiot. I think I was going to say something just about experiencing someone. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I think learning all this backstory on stuff helps you experience that artist's version of the album more full, because you're kind of in their head. You're like, you can picture, right? If you hear the whole story of how an album's being made, you could put yourself kind of in those situations, and like, like even as simple as like sadness. His father died, and this is super simple. Wrote this album about his dad, and you can think like, I'd be really sad. So it brings you closer to that artist's vision of what their art is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It kind of puts you kind of in their head or in their position. So yeah, I think it helps you to experience the music more closely to how that artist experienced making it. If you know all the little back end stories and all that type of stuff.
I guess, not to play devil's advocate, but it can also have the complete opposite effect, right? Like, there's some albums that I like, love the album, but they're made by like really fucking horrendous, shitty humans. And the more backstory you learn about them, you're just like, well, wish I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
And not to say that I like have a hard time differentiating from the creator from the creation. I feel like that's
I hear what you're saying.
People can disagree with me on that. Like,
no, I hear what you're saying. Like
I don't necessarily. I still want to listen to He's Never Coming Back, but I'm not really into reading about the singer. I don't really give a fuck what the fuck he's doing, Like,
yeah, totally. I hear you.
He made a work, and it was with Gaza, and it was good. But after that, it's like, well,
yeah,
I just put that curtain over the sausage factory, and
yeah. I hear what you're saying, man. It can kind of. Well, I guess as simple as like, let's say you read the backstory and you find out they're a real piece of shit, then you just totally dismiss that record. But it could still be a good record. Like that Gaza record, He's Never Come Back, is a good record.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, your personal choice to ever listen to it again or not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like not literally you, but
I'm
anyone.
Just saying that's my own shit. But then again, there's someone like Miles Davis who like he did some sketchy shit. But still, like, probably one of the best fucking trumpet players of all time. And that's the thing. I want to read about how he made the record. And you know what? Fuck it. There's some like there's some dark part of me that kind of wants to know all the fucking gross details of his life. I don't know why.
Well,
I think Joe read a biography on him, and it was like, he was like, man, this guy was fucked up. I was like, okay, cool. That kind of piques my interest a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I wish that I'm happy with my knowledge of music, but I feel like these jazz greats, like I can't really listen to Coltrane or Miles Davis. It doesn't do anything for me. I feel like I just don't speak the language well enough to interpret the music. And it might be as simple as like, I don't really listen to jazz, but like those guys and all those people are such high level. Even today we're talking about in the studio, like, musicians who know and were educated and like speak that language. It's like you read enough books and you can kind of articulate better. It's like that sort of metaphor of, if you don't read much, your hand's kind of like this, but if you read more, you become more fluid. And you know what I'm saying? So like the language of music, I am where I am at, but yeah, those like Davis and Coltrane and I don't know, Herbie Hancock. I don't know. I'm just pulling names out my ass, but a lot of that stuff like I'll listen to, but it doesn't do any. It doesn't move me. It doesn't do anything.
It's just not your time. It's not its time to move you.
What do you like? Do you listen to those guys?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know the fucking first thing about anything they're doing, but I really enjoy their music just for the sound that it makes, just for whatever it is, and that's the thing. Like,
you can't really explain why. Just you like it.
Yeah, I don't know. This is obviously just my 2 cents, but like if you need to like have a thorough understanding of like musical theory to enjoy a band, like that band's probably not that good. To me, it's like, man, it should be able to for more or less like speak to everybody.
But that's what's confusing to me is that I feel like these guys are held, like it feels like it's a mainstream thing. Like these guys are giants and their music's really good. So when I hear it and I don't get it, I feel like, what am I not getting? How do I not, like, I thought everyone's supposed to like this. You know what I'm saying?
It's just you just don't like it. It's not because you don't know music. Because you know music more than you'll give yourself credit for. You know what's going on. You don't like it, and it's not because you're
I'm
not musically inclined. Yeah,
I guess not. I definitely am. There's like shame in not being as like, I love music. I love it, but I'm not. I guess I'm just comparing, like, you know, you and Shawnee and people who like really immerse themselves in music. Like I feel like I have a participant award, and you guys have like
don't
an
say
award.
that, man.
That's how I feel.
Well, I'm not trying to downplay how you feel, but like, you know, you don't have to be an expert to enjoy music, you know.
No, and you know, and I totally get that. Like I can't explain how I love music, but I know I love music. I know that it inspires me, but I just participate. Like even as simple as like a lot of times I won't even like read the lyrics, and I feel like that's like, I know that. Well, yeah,
You never read the lyrics?
Not all the time,
but sometimes you do.
But not a lot.
Not a lot, but once in a while, 1 in 100.
That's why I like hip hop a lot, because it's very easy to hear the lyrics, as simple as that, and kind of get an idea of what they're talking about. A lot of the metal bands I listen to, I don't take that extra step to really read what the hell they're saying. And I know that's an art in itself to write lyrics, you know? So it's kind of like I'm doing it at a disservice.
Yeah, I would disagree, man. You're just enjoying it the way you enjoy it. It's not your enjoyment of music is no more or less than my enjoyment or someone else's enjoyment who reads the lyrics, does like a thesis on the band, you know, like, you know, like that's the thing about music. You're just like fucking fuck it and Kiss from a Rose by Seal fucking rules. I don't know fucking anything about that song. All I know is Baya Ya. That's the only. Oh yeah, wait. I could probably bang off a couple verses, but like, all I know is like, fuck yeah, Seal, you're killing it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't know why I just said all that.
No, I love it.
Random. That was pretty random. That's just like, what's a wicked song? I could not tell you the first thing about that song. It was on the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Yeah, I guess it's like I there's a whole pie that is music. And some people eat the whole pie, and it's a delicious treat. Like,
Some people are fat.
True, but
music fat,
and that's I have a piece of the pie, and it's still the same pie. It's delicious pie, but I realize I could go deeper. I think that's just it. There's like a regret or shame, or just knowing that it's right there in front of me. Like I could really go deep and experience this on a like just more personally, and I don't know what it is. If it's I don't want to say laziness. I know I'm not lazy. It's just a weird thing to me. It's weird that I don't eat the whole pie.
I think you do, man. You're always telling me like quirky facts about like hip hop records, and this guy knows this guy, and he came up with this guy, and you know a lot more than I feel you give yourself credit for, man.
Maybe. Well, maybe just not when it comes to like metal stuff.
Yeah, maybe just not metal. Or jazz or whatever.
Yeah.
or Peruvian techno.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, fuck. What's going on?
I was looking at my tongue. We had iced coffees and they were delicious. Just didn't eat like shit. Fucking chicken fingers. Had a chubby chicken. I was telling Marc, so we played Toronto when I came home and drove past A&Dubs at like 4 in the morning. And they have the 24-hour, open. So I went in. Lady was really nice. Said that the burgers would take 15 minutes. Chicken would take 6. So I got a chubby chicken and fresh. And I tell Marc, probably the best chicken burger I've ever had. I don't associate A&Dubs with fucking chicken burgers. I know they have the chubby chicken, but I just never partook. So if anyone listening, try the chubby chicken. It's fucking good.
That needs a fucking rebrand, man. I'll say it again. Chubby?
Chubby chicken?
Like, chubby isn't a delicious word, you know? Like, man, how's that chicken? Yo, dog, shit was mad chubby. Like, what? Like flubby?
Like it was all fat?
It sounds like flub. Chub and
chubby
flub.
chicken?
But I'm not disputing the fact that it was a good. But, like, come on, man. You
Rebrand
need to
it?
What could you call it? Like, chunky chicken?
Chunky chicken?
That's way better.
That's a good point. Chubby, even the bees make it like round and slob, like
Chubby chicken.
Yeah,
you know, it's like big bag of brisket.
like a bagel and a fucking
Chubby chicken.
chubby
burger. Chubby. Could I get
Chunky.
a chubby chicken burger?
I think chunky works better.
Chunky chicken.
Chunky, when I think of chunky, I think of like KFC, like crisp,
Yeah.
deep fried chicken skin.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, sir, coming right up.
What else I got here?
I don't know, man. There's a lot.
I feel like at the bottom there was like, well, I asked the one question at the bottom that I was gonna erase because I feel like it's too
Too personal?
too personal. But yeah, we don't have to do that one.
Is giving yourself credit over something detrimental? I don't know.
I was thinking again. A lot of these questions I think of internally, where it's like, if I were to say I'm a good drummer, how is that a detriment to me? I guess that's all in how I would want to take it if I stop wanting to get better or not. Or even apply that to outside things like giving yourself credit for... there's a fucking word that I'm trying to think of where it's like you're just happy, you're content with your level and you don't grow anymore.
Complacent?
Complacent. Looking for a good... if giving yourself credit can lead to complacency. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, it could.
What do you give yourself credit for?
Fucking nothing.
Anything?
No, hell no.
Do you think you must think you're a hard worker?
I could work harder. No, nothing. There's probably some shit.
It's
not
like
trying to be woe is me, but man, that's just how I feel like that's just how I'm hardwired.
Well,
I don't want credit. I don't know.
I think it's a hard thing to do it should be to like pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's-
I don't feel like I've done anything to deserve that. Maybe I have, and that sounds like a super dumb thing to say, but what about you, man?
Give myself credit. I think to have good intent. I have good intent. I can say that in what I do.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, 100%.
Like, even maybe in my mistakes in life, I feel that I was raised to mostly, try to do well, to have good intent. Like this podcast, my intent is not really a personal one. Like it's more outwardly than inwardly. Like this, like it's my podcast, but like I want it to be beneficial to everybody. And if I get a bit of can benefit from it a little bit, then cool. But I want everyone else to. Like that's why I want it to be a good show. So you hear it and it's like, oh, that was a good show for other people. But maybe that good intent. It's a good question to ask yourself, I guess. Like what? Even another question I asked Muskie is like, what's your best trait? I think that might be on there. We talked about this once, like not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, about what's your best? I think that was the question. What's your best trait? What's yours?
Oh, me? Fuck, I don't know. That's a very good question. Because that in a tertiary way requires me to give myself credit. There's a sneaky way of trying to get me to give myself credit for something.
What's your best trait? You have them. I know you have them.
Yeah.
If you didn't have them, I wouldn't be your buddy.
Yeah, I don't.
What's your best? Pick one. What's your best trait? I could tell you.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
Hard question, eh?
It is a hard question. It's a really, really, really hard question.
I want people to comment under this episode and give me Marc's best traits.
No, fuck. Don't fucking. You better. I'm gonna edit this out right now. I'm gonna edit that. I'm gonna delete the whole fucking thing. I don't know. I feel like I always try to be honest, and I'm not always honest with myself or with the world, but it's something that I always try and put myself under the microscope as much as I fucking can in ways that hurt me a lot. Not just to hurt myself, but just to, like, you know, say I tried. Say I tried to know as much as I could about this fucking husk.
That's, yeah.
What'd you say your best trait was? Oh, good intent. You said that already. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't. It's hard to talk about. I feel like it should be hard to toot your own horn. Like, it feels gross.
It does feel gross to me. Feels gross to you, eh?
It does.
You know what? I feel like it's a slippery slope from being like, you know what? I did a good job, to, like, being that guy who's doing the Wall Street elevator pitch of themselves, like, did you know that I did this? Something come loud. Just did this, and how about another thing? And you know what? That's the thing, man. Sometimes I feel like, you know, here we are talking about ourselves, but, like, people talk too much about themselves, man. Sometimes it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's the climate we live in. It's like, everyone, let's talk about what I'm doing. And you know what? I'd rather just fucking not tell anyone anything and just listen. I like listening.
Yeah, there's definitely a culture of oversharing.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
And some things don't. And I think we could both probably agree that it's a lot of the social media. That's literally the platform. You're sharing your shit. And how many people have enough shit to share? Like, actually interesting things. Most people are just people leading pretty boring lives. So, like, Instagram accounts and Facebook statuses and Twitter things and YouTube channels and podcasts are just like, share something. Well, I don't have anything to share. So it becomes this oversharing.
Yeah, I think over being the, like, operative part of that word, because, like, it's good to share. You want to share with the world. You don't want to just keep everything. You don't want to, like, quarantine yourself and not share and not be shared with. But at the same time, like, motherfuckers need a filter, man. Like, not everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, I know you. Oh man, yeah, that filter I feel like is deteriorating.
And that goes back to the very first question we talked about, like, telling the truth about your band, or telling the truth about who you are. It's like, your life isn't that exciting. I'm sure no one listening to this, no one listening to this' life is fucking crazy, mega, ultra exciting. Everyone, I'm sure their lives are exciting to some degree to them, but on the grand scale, like, I don't know, that sounds really, really, really jaded, but you know what I'm saying.
If we're being honest, yeah. Most who is living an exciting life? Everyone's mostly just living.
And let me just amend to that everyone's life is just like, as much as it's not like, you know, you're not fucking Jack Nicholson, it's still valuable, you know.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of good you can birth into the world through sharing and fucking, you know, just being a good person. Hold the door, say thank you, tell someone you love them. Like, the possibilities are infinite, but I don't know, it's nothing that sharing openly is gonna amplify. That's the shit that if it's like what do? Do you, like, kiss your fucking grandma and, like, post, like, a video of that? Like, yeah. It's like, no, just fucking just give your loved ones a hug. Don't be like, oh my God, love you, Mom, and, you know, then like, you don't need to share that shit.
Yeah, Well, yeah, a lot of stuff could be kept to yourself. What's the word? Not shame, but I guess just knowing how to gauge, like, is this worthy of putting out there? Who is this for? Is it strictly just for me, or will this make people laugh, or will this inspire someone to do something? What's the intent behind your reason for sharing? A lot of times it's pretty evident, or it's just like you just need attention, or maybe in a way it's a cry for help, which if that gets you help, then that's great. But do you you don't really, you keep to yourself, you know what I mean? You're not like, there's things I know you're doing, let's say musically, that's what I love about you, is that it's just at least with music wise, it's not I don't know, music's such a big a part of who you are, but you don't flaunt that it is. And I do, actually, through this podcast. I'm always like, it's so important to me, but you're just kind of doing it. You're releasing good music and keeping quiet about it. Not like quiet where no one hears it, but
probably to an unhealthy degree. And that's like some shit that I've had to like work on over the years, is like sharing, because sometimes I don't really care that much, but it's important, like, especially if it's like it's shit I'm obviously passionate about and I want to do, but I don't know. This is just completely my own, probably wrong view about it, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like it cheapens it. It's cheap to me. It's like, I don't want to just spout off about everything that I'm doing, because like, it just doesn't. You know what? It's not cheap. It just doesn't feel right. There's a part of it that doesn't feel right, and you know what? I'll take that back. It's not because it's cheap, because that's like a derogatory thing, and I don't mean that. It's just not. It doesn't feel right to me, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'd rather just plan the thing, do the thing, and then when the thing is done, there you go. Put it out. Thing is done. No build up. Yeah. Just feels. Yeah.
Well, it's well, I think we have a friend who just like Luke from Toronto, his ayahuasca record. To me, I love that he just kind of released it. It's such a great record.
Yeah.
And I don't know his intent, or if he tried for a long time or whatever, but it kind of reminded me of you, where it's just like, I don't need a reason to do it. I'm just doing it. He put it out there and kind of just moved on. Like, it wasn't like a end of the world that no one heard it. It didn't, like, I'm sure people heard it, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, I feel the same way from Luke. That's why it's like so fun to hang around him, right? Because like, you can just see, he just wants to fucking make. That's all he wants to do. And he's fucking insanely good at it, and talented and genuine and beautiful fucking person. And yeah, it's that energy, I don't know. It's great. We love you, Luke.
Oh man, it's so pure. That's what it is.
It is, man.
It's like a piece. There's like, I feel like when I think of like you or Luke, I think of just a musician who is hit this level of just being at peace with their role. It's not like you're not trying to be this big thing, but you're still putting 100% effort into it. And it's like a lot of work for what a lot of people would be confused with, like, oh, but you didn't make your money back, or not a lot of people heard it. It's like, well, that doesn't matter. Like, it's like, I feel like that is when you get to that point where you can create music and put all that effort into it as if you were trying to make it, and still craft really good music, knowing that probably no one will hear it, but still doing it anyways. Like, I feel like there's like a piece to that. It's just like, I just love to do it, and I'm gonna do it.
It's totally a peaceful thing, but another aspect that I've recently thought about is like, sometimes for myself, it's like, maybe I'm just like doing this for the sake of doing it because I'm afraid of pushing it into a more advanced arena, or pushing the thing into a bigger pond and having it get eaten up real quick. So there's a part of me that's like really, done a lot of thinking, like maybe I'm just like, I have too fragile of an ego and I don't want to, I just want to make up the excuse that I'm just doing it for myself. I don't think that I am, but it's something that I definitely entertained the notion of, like, oh, maybe I'm just saying I don't care, or saying that it's not important if it does well, financially or whatever, by whatever metric you want to throw it against. But yeah, that's a real dilemma, maybe it's just like, well, I just don't want too many people to hear it because people might think it sucks, and then that'll hurt my feelings subconsciously, Well,
that could make sense.
Deep.
You think that would fucking stick, man? That's kind of hard to think of that bugging you, to someone to be like, this shit sucks.
Well, maybe that's how thorough a job I've done at buffering myself against it. Because that's, I think there are some people who are like, yeah, the classic, like, yeah, I'd get into the music industry, but like, shit's all crooked now anyway. It's like Spotify, like, I'm not even gonna do it because like you can't even really make money. It's like, no, motherfucker, like, you just don't. You don't want to, and you're not gonna do the hard work. So I feel like I'm putting myself under that lens. Like, am I just making fucking excuses for myself? But I don't think I am.
Yeah,
I'm 35. I'm more than happy just making records for myself. Like, I don't know. Maybe I've given up. Who knows?
I wonder. This has come up before too. Like, a trait I can say for you is you work hard. You're a hard worker. But how? Back to being honest about your band. Like, how many people are working hard at like, what differentiates a musician from someone who's pushing it and pushing themselves to someone who's like a hobbyist? But just, I don't know. There's a lot of bands that come to mind, and I don't want to like shit on anybody, but
Greber.
Well, Greber could be an example of that. Like, I could be hashing out more ideas more often. I guess we could both be spending more time on like the back end of it, but
yeah, it's weird though, because I can honestly say I enjoy music, the writing and playing of it, now more than I ever have in my life.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because like the dream of like, I need to make it and I want to just live on the, because I don't fucking want to live on the road. Fuck that shit. But when we were like 23, it was like, man, imagine we were doing like big tours and shit all the time, and we were just like never home. And you look at the bands who are like on tour forever, like those fucking people were gods in our eyes. Yeah. And now it's like, you can fucking have that. Like, I don't want any of that shit.
You feel like you have to see behind that curtain by doing it to get to that point, maybe.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, let's say a band that hasn't really done much and is just kind of like local heroes, and if that drive to make it big is still exciting, like the whole thing is still fresh and new, right? The idea of like first tour, or even the like opening up for bands type thing, or any sort of like, it's that shit. I kind of miss the firsts in the news, and like like the continuous honeymoon stage of a band where your first pressed shit and your first out of town show, and like at this point, like, what else do we do, right? Like,
yeah, it's
there's not
just different.
A lot of firsts to be had now.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So like a local band, in a way I'm envious, because that's that feeling. It's like I say today to Nick, that feeling let's say your first out of town show, or your first tour, your first time opening up for this person, or your first whatever. That feeling, that special feeling, it's not the same as when you lose something and you find it like a week later, but it's that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like chasing a dragon. You get it once and you fucking, it's hard pressed to get that same feeling again.
I feel like I get that feeling a lot through writing.
Yo, yeah, I was gonna say when we write a good song, that's that feeling.
Yeah, that's that feeling. That's what gets me excited when like it fleshes itself out and you're like, that was cool. Like I'm mildly happy with where the song is at. Like that's a fucking huge thing. That's the frontier now, you know?
It's someone was saying about Tetris, how Tetris is addicting because it's kind of goal oriented where you get little drops of good feelings when you finish a line because you finish something. It's like kind of think why I like to do the dishes, because it's like a dish is clean, kitchen's clean, it's that reward system, or I don't know, I'm not a scientist.
Dopamine?
Yeah, but the idea of crafting something from literally nothing, an idea that pops in your head, and then you do that with your friend, and then it fleshes out into an actual song. Yeah, that shit rules.
Those are the first shows.
Yeah.
For us now. Yeah, it's cool. I love seeing that when bands are like going on tour or like stoked on tour. Man, it brings me back, and I love to see that in other bands. Like I don't necessarily feel it myself, but to see it, you know, when you see it, you're like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. It was funny, when was it? Wednesday when Muskie and I went back to my apartment. I saw my neighbors, fucking Kristen and Ken, and we were just talking like, yeah, this is Muskie, you know, we're playing a show tomorrow. And Kristen's like, are you guys fucking stoked or what? And Muskie and I kind of looked at each other. I was like, man, that's a good question, because to be honest, no.
Yeah.
Not like, no, I am not. We look like the biggest dicks, and Muskie's like, I'm not really that excited either. Like, we were, and that's the thing. When we got our shit on stage to play, I was excited for sure. Yeah. I was really stoked to do it. But the night before, when you're like 19, the night before you're like, you're like freaking out, like, oh my god, like we got a show tomorrow, and you can't sleep. And then the day of, you like take a bunch of weird shits because you're like fucking super worried. But no, we were just like, no, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah man. Yeah, we were talking about it with Fleming too, because I think we all hit traffic, but coming in it was like not stoked at all.
Yeah.
Loading, not stoked. Waiting around, and then pretty much right until we start to play. Actually, when I start moving drums, that's when I get excited.
Yeah.
I that's almost why I don't need to warm up. I just get excited to play, and I'm literally moving faster, moving my drums, and I don't really need to warm up because that short burst is enough to get me going. Huh. How long have we been doing this? You could hit that little pink arrow on the right of the time, or right there. There's a little arrow. There's time.
56 minutes.
Holy shit. Wow.
You want to do one more question? One more topic?
Pick one.
All right. Why is Take Your Wide podcast the best podcast of all time?
I didn't write
Did
that
you
question.
write that? No. Damn, son.
False news. Fake news.
False news. Fake.
These are probably all whack questions.
No, these are good questions, man. Okay. What enjoyable activity do you not engage in often enough? Or at all?
Enjoyable activity.
First, let's get the joke answers out of the way. Okay, but seriously, Steve, what's your answer?
Enjoyable activity I don't partake in.
Enough.
Maybe video games. That's an enjoyable activity. I can have.
Is this your joke one? Is
no,
this real?
No, this is real.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know. It's not much that's like. What about you? What would you think?
Like
maybe eating out more?
I would. Well, never mind. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this. Enjoyable activity. Do I not engage enough?
Sleep?
I don't know.
I don't know. This question sucks.
No, this question's good. What don't I do enough?
Spend your money?
Well, I'm trying to avoid all of those answers.
This guy's riding my ass.
Fucking pass. This isn't.
Fucking pass me, bro. It's probably like, what the fuck are these idiots doing with microphones?
Okay. I'm gonna say a license plate number now. If you know this guy, if you see this truck, throw an egg at it. It's a Gig Express.
Oh, I feel ya.
What's his fucking... I can't see it. Z082PW.
Go complain.
Fuck this motherfucker.
Just trying to talk about music, man. I don't know. Fuck this question. Stupid.
All right.
We'll do the Hibzine.
All right, cool.
When's the next Hibzine coming out? That's the question.
Fuck you. Man, I still have a ton of like sections, and I actually thought about that the other day. I was looking through them and I was like, yeah.
There's still a Facebook page.
Yep. Still a Facebook. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if I'll ever do that again. That was a total labor of love, but I'm a lot less apt to just toss money in the toilet because I never sold any of them. I would just give them away because I don't value anything I do.
Maybe we'll do a collab, a Take Her Wide Hibzine, and we'll revive it.
I would love to, man. It was a lot of fun, and we got a lot of good album suggestions.
Yeah.
Like from that shit.
What's a good segue? What should we play then? What's something you've been checking out that's cool?
What have I been checking out that's cool?
That I could potentially play on YouTube without getting pulled down.
Oh, okay.
More of an underground band.
Underground band. I'm trying to think.
Any of our friends maybe have shit coming out?
Yeah. It's a good. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if any of them are underground enough to get.
You know what I should do? I was gonna say I could play some Mountain Dust. They have a new record.
Sure. I actually bought their record on Bandcamp.
Cool.
Yeah, I got their record and the Dead Quiet record, like in the same goal.
Have you? If you could, you're the guest. Would you want to pick one of the two, either of the bands?
Let's do a Dead Quiet track.
Okay.
Just because. Well, are you gonna play?
Yeah, I'll grab it after the fact. Anyone come to mind or?
Fuck, that whole album is super good.
I'll edit it after. I'll pick something.
Yeah, pick whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't know. I really can't choose between the two because they're both like such solid records.
Well, people can go grab each of the albums. I'll put the links in the bio if I remember. But I'll edit after. We'll put something in from Dead Quiet.
Okay, cool. Unless maybe put them both.
I could, I guess.
No, I'm making the executive order. I demand both.
Okay.
Please.
Both. BOLF.
I'll buy the tracks.
No, that's the thing. I buy these albums.
No, I know.
Which is fine. Like, it's every episode I have to. I feel like such a shit if I'm like, support the scene, and then I don't buy the music that I'm playing.
Yeah. No, for sure. You gotta fucking.
You got to.
It's only like.
Okay.
It's only like $10 or whatever.
Did I say? Well, this is something from Dead Quiet.
This is Mountain Dust.
Ladies
and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the song
Dear Demon
by Dead Quiet.
Somebody what you came from, man. I wanna know just when you're leaving. 100 demons scratching at my door again, waiting to fill my veins with sweet, sweet sand. I wanna know just where you came from, man. I wanna know just when you're leaving. I'm on an endless journey, chasing what I can taste. You've got just what I'm needing, desperately and fake. Too much of a good thing, baby, slowing down as we speak. Before you will stop breathing, take a break, stop and think. Have mercy on me, demon, 'cause I cannot stay. I will not stay. The times they are changing, the times they are changing, and so are we. Have mercy on me, demon, 'cause I cannot stay. I will not stay. The times they are changing, the times they are changing, and so are we. I've got 100 reasons to live this lie every day. The pressure's too much sometimes. There's got to be a release. How much is too much, baby? I take and I take. This life is too much, maybe. Coming down as we speak. Have mercy on me, demon, 'cause I cannot stay. I will not stay. The times they are changing, the times they are changing, and so are we. Have mercy on me, demon, 'cause I cannot stay. I will not stay. The times they are changing, the times they are changing, and so are we. Sorry. I'll tell your fortune, tell you little lies. The things you're doing, I can see it in your eyes. Come on, baby, bang that little head. The things you're doing, you can't do when you're dead. Bow down, kiss my little ring. Tell me something I would never believe. Come on, baby.
followed by the hit #1 song
White Bluffs
by Mountain Dust.
Those were great.
What were the name of those songs again?
It was Dear Demon and White Bluffs. All right, cool.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I guess I'll just wrap this up. Mark, thank you. I love you, man.
I love you too, man. Cheers.
Mike, cheers. If you haven't grabbed a shirt yet, grab one at takeorwide.bigcartel.com. Sadly, no XL or 2XL, but other sizes are there. What can I say? What else? Sign up for the newsletter. Follow the homepage, the Instagram page, sorry. I have a Twitter, but I don't really use it. And these are available everywhere. If you search it, I'm sure you'll find it. I guess if you haven't followed Greber Metal on Instagram. Marc's got his Cancelled. What is it? Cancelled 666?
Yeah, something like that.
Cancelled. I'll find it. Make sure it's posted. And that's it. Yeah, this is Taker White. I'll do some closing ads on the way out. But yeah, thanks, Marc.
You're welcome, man. Love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Smoke weed. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really do. I hope that when I see you guys, and if you say you listen, that I can really portray how much I appreciate the listeners. It's an awkward show if no one's listening. So thank you. forever. Thank you. If you haven't got the shirt, grab the shirt, takerwide.com. You can click on merch or go to takerwide.bigcartel.com. Shawnee designed it, aka Wormzilla. Ironclad Graphics printed them. Really cool shirts, great way to support the show. And yeah, do that if you guys can. Sign up for the newsletter. Those come out every Friday. Just extra links, extra references, just a little bit more thorough of an episode. And what else? I guess the sponsors. Yeah, so all love to these sponsors, guys. The benefit for Wildlife Defense League in loving memory of Cody Andrews is happening this Saturday at Harmony Lunch at 90 King Street North in Waterloo. It's a good show for a great cause in loving memory of a good dude. So check the bio, all the shit's there. Heartbeat Hot Sauce, heartbeathotsauce.com. Use the promo code TakerWide5, save 5%. DFA Tattoos out in Montreal, 328 St. Catherine Est. Follow them on actually all the sponsors. Just search for it. Follow them on Instagram, DFATattoos.com. Kevin Rego of Heffner Toyota. He's at 3121 King Street East. Mention the show. Get special pricing on new vehicles. Ironclad Graphics out in Kingston. Affordable merch. All fucking kinds of merch you guys can get. Ships coast to coast. Ironcladgraphics.com. Dapper Beard Oil. The great beard oil company from Ottawa. Support small business. Go check it out, dapperbeardoil.com, and use that promo code, TakerWide free ship. Get free shipping, save some cash. Wellington Brewery for the beers, and Dave Levitt Photography for the love and support. And lastly, that have Hope presents Hope Fest 2018. That's happening at in Waterloo at Maxwell's. Fucking 20 bands, after party, acoustic acts, punk rock thrift shop. Very cool, very cool. What else? I don't know. Just really, guys, fucking thank you. I sometimes don't know what I'm doing with the show, and sometimes I want to stop, but I think I'll keep going. I don't know. Doing my best. This is 236 with Marc and Steve, and I'm saying peace. I'll see you guys next week. I guess I will talk to you next week. Okay, peace.